Good evening. Welcome back to Frugal Outdoors with myself, Dylan. And as you guessed it, we're out fishing again tonight. But I am buzzing. I mean, I'm always excited to be out fishing, but tonight especially, I'm fishing the back of the island. I haven't been able to get out to the back for ages. So we're fishing the back of the island, the channel side of the island, which is always rougher, always stormier, and obviously with all these winds we've been having, haven't been able to get out at all. But yeah, look at that. It looks super bassy, doesn't it? But I've got some I've got some peeler crab, frozen I hasten to add, but I have got some crab, and I've got a new rod to try as well, which I'm really excited about. But yeah, let's get set up. Let's stop yakking, because I'm going to do plenty of that later on anyway. So I've got my tripod up. I need to get the rods on there, get some reels on. Yes, I got myself a new rod and I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with it. I've been umming and ahhing for a while, as you know, but I've wanted a dedicated bass rod. I have got a bass rod, but it was a really cheap bass rod. It's really floppy. And I struggled to get on with it, to be honest. And obviously, like my Daiwa is a pretty decent rod, and there's another Daiwa in that range, a bass rod, which is over 200 quid, but there was one on eBay for sale, which I was chatting to the guy and he was prepared to send it. He didn't want to post it, but he was prepared to send it. And I opted for something else. So if anyone's looking for one, get yourselves onto eBay, because there is one for sale on there. And by all accounts, the reviews is it's a cracking rod. But what I opted for was the Zulcron Bass. Now it's super, super light. It's got plenty of power in it because it will cast 150 grams, which I know is a bit heavy for a bass rod. But this is still a dedicated bass rod, but it does mean, and being 13 foot, when I've got swells like I have here today, it means I can get up a little bit higher, but it also means I can have a lot of fun with this on some bream later on in the year. But yeah, I'm super excited. So I've got this from Slamfish Isle of Wight, from Nobby in Newport, and he's recommended it. He said he's sold loads of them, and he's the only supplier of Zulcron rods on the island. So if you're into your Zulcron Sports stuff, then get in there and have a little nose. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. So I'm gonna get a reel on it. It's super skinny. The butt is really skinny. It's got a fixed reel seat, so you can't slide it, but it's really, really skinny. And I don't know if you can see that there, but it's nice and tippy, but you can still chuck a 5-ounce gripper out there if you need to. I'm not fishing with that tonight. I've got some 3-ounce ball leads that I'm gonna just flick out with some crab. So let's get on with it, man. I'm super excited, you can probably tell. Yeah, there's plenty of colour in the water. There's a lovely bit of swell rolling in. I mean, I have got some heavier leads. I'm basically gonna fish one rod for bass tonight. I'm gonna fish the other one, like I say, a little bit differently. It's not my heavy rod, but it's certainly heavier than this one. And I'm gonna probably fish, I've got some frozen pout, so I'm gonna chuck a pout bait out for a minute, see if there's a conger around, and then on this one, I'm literally just gonna fish crab baits all night. As you can tell, I'm in a bit of a rush. I think I'm working myself up a little bit too much. I'm too excited. Probably going to end up mucking up a cast or something. or getting a hook in me. But yeah, so my other rod is my Daiwa Air Surf, and I'm fishing my Shimano's on both rods. I know a lot of people use something a lot smaller when they're bass fishing, and will use, you know, bait runners. I've got a bait runner as well, but I do want to start, I don't know, trying to utilise some of the same stuff that I've got for all of my fishing, just to make life a bit easier, really. See, that's what happens when you're in a rush. You get the wrong rigs. So in my haste of getting out, I've actually brought, well, it's not that I've brought the wrong rigs, I just didn't bring the rigs that I wanted to bring. So I've had to make do, digging the bottom of the box. So I've got a pulley. It's a pulley, it's quite a heavy duty pulley. It's got a 100-pound rig body, but on the business end, it's got a 3.0. Did want to bring the 5.0s, to be honest, but never mind. So it's got, that's 80-pound hook snood. It's got a 3.0 Aberdeen there, and it's got a nice 4.0 circle hook. So that's what I'm going to fish a bigger bait. So I'm going to chuck that out because I'm not anticipating getting a bite straight away on that, and then I can spend a bit of time sorting out my bass rod. Whoops. So the first bait I'm going to chuck out on the heavier rod is it's a pouting fillet. What's going on with this bait elastic? I've taken the head off at a diagonal to include the stomach cavity, because I may well use that a bit later on in close for a bass. But for the meantime, at the moment, I'm just going to use the fillets. Like I say, it's daylight. I'm not really expecting to get much, but there could be a ray lurking around. It is really snaggy down here. I do know that. I've never fished here before, but I do know that tackle losses can be quite high, but I've got the 25-pound mono and I've got 60-pound leader, so I'm fishing relatively heavy enough, I think. Right, let's get this on. So what I may well do as well a little bit later, I've got some squid, and I may well chuck out a 2-hook flapper with some squid on, or I don't think I'm going to use any loop rigs here, like I say, because it is a bit snaggier, but just maybe some short snood flappers, see if there's any pouting out there, and then I can use a nice fresh pouting for bait as well. So we're just going to fish for whatever on this side. There we go. And something a bit better on the other side, but let's get this one out first. Then I can talk some more guff in a minute. Mate, I am warm. All right, let's get that down. There you go. So there you go, all clipped up. Nice and aerodynamic, one pout fillet to hopefully get us into anything at all. Don't care. You see, I've perched myself up on this ledge. I'm going to lose the beach when the tide comes up, hence I'm fishing over high, and I'll be able to cast from up here. I've got a nice point over there. In fact, I'm going to use that right now, cast over there, cast slightly to the left, and then my bass rod I'm going to cast slightly to the right, so when I set my lights up, I'm not casting any shadows whatsoever anywhere near my bass bait. That's the plan. Let's get on it. Oh yeah! I am super elevated here. Right, first cast. Try not to muck it up. Oh wow, that's out there, man. Nice. So yeah, 6-ounce gripper on this one. But like I say, I don't know, having never fished here before, what it's like. If you look on Google Earth, it is snaggy as. Right, well, I can't believe that. My bait has been in my cool box all day with some ice blocks, and it's still frozen solid. So hopefully I can get that to defrost really quick, straight away. But look at what I got. You read that? Tom's bass rig. So I was over on the mainland a couple of weeks ago. I might have to shorten this down a little bit with this swell. I'm not sure. I'll try it as it is. And I popped into Christchurch angling. So it's the first time I've ever been in there. And Tom was in there. And Tom, needless to say, he did not recognise me at all. So that was a bit awkward. But Darren watches, and if any of you have watched one of his videos recently, he fished on the Isle of Wight, fishing for bass using this rig. So I really wanted to stop in and see if he had any crab, which he did, which I've got. And just to pick up one of his rigs, because it's got this earth bar, which I've never seen, I've never heard of, and it's supposed to help it from not to tangle up, basically, when you're surfing in swelly conditions like this. It's just I've got a small 2.0, and I've got some variations of this as well, because I've actually made some with a dongle on the bottom, a very short dongle, just to help bind that crab on, and then my hook is going to be super, super proud. So I'm going to start off with this, and then I'll alternate with mine and see how we get on. But yeah, little message for Darren, because I know he's come over and he knows the language that we speak over here. So just a little private message to you, Darren. Take care, buddy. Look at the size of that. That's a nice shore peeler. You don't often get those when you buy shore peelers, frozen or live. So I've got a bag here of 5, and 3 of them are huge. So I'm looking forward to using those. I've got some other shell on ones, but these ones have already been prepped. So yeah, let's get one on and get it out. So I'm literally just gonna put a 3-ounce ball head on. It might not be heavy enough, you know, with all of this swell coming in here. And I'm just gonna get it probably past that second breaker, just so it's maybe 15 yards out, just so it doesn't wash around too much. But like I say, we're just gonna have a go. It'd be lovely to get a bass if I could. So there we go, just bound that on, and then all I've seen him doing is just nicking that in the top circle, just like so, and hopefully that'll pick us up a bass. Let's give it a go. Yeah, there we go. So already I can feel that this rod is much pokier than my other bass rod. And I guess, yeah, I'm just gonna let it roll around. I mean, I don't do a lot of bass fishing. I need to do more, because I love eating bass. I love catching bass and I love eating bass. I generally fish different places. Normally where there's somewhere where, you know, it's like in a corner of a bay or something like that. I mean, this is quite, as you can see, it's a massive open beach. But there's a lot of rocks out there and stuff. So I'm thinking, potentially, you know, with a peeler crab especially, they could be going in there. But I've got some different rigs anyway for my bass rod. I've got some size 4.0 circles. I've got some of the 2.0s with some dongles on. But I'm gonna get another rig ready now for both rods. Sit down, enjoy it for a moment. And hopefully, yeah, we can get into a fish or two. I mean, it screams bass today, but we'll see. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about anyway. But it feels, I feel excited about it. I feel like there's bass out there. But yeah, let's have a go anyway, see how we get on. One thing I am going to do, I think, because there is quite a bit of swell out there. So it's exactly the same rig I've got here, another one, £100 and £80. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shorten my pulley down. So I'm only going to be fishing maybe, I mean, normally I make a 90 centimetre rig body, and then obviously the hook snood is slightly shorter. But yeah, so I'm gonna just take 6 inches or so, maybe even a foot off of the swivel on both lines, just to make them a bit shorter. There we go. So I've just quickly made that much shorter. It should help me a little bit with this swell. But yeah, let's get this baited up. Right, do you know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna have a look at it. I wanna see how it's fishing. I wanna see if that hook snood on that earth rig is too long for these conditions. Like I said, I've shortened my pulley down, and when I pull that one in, I'll snip that one down as well to shorten that as well. But I just wanna have a look at this. Firstly, see if I can get it back. Yeah, I've got it back, no problem. Still out there. Tiny bit of weed on the line. I just want to see if it's tangled at all. And in all fairness, no, it is not. Wow, interesting. So there we go. So this one is on a running ledger, locked in. So there we go, 3-ounce ball head again. About the same length snood actually, but that's on a 4.0 this time with a perfection loop. And there we go, I've got a nice big shore peeler crab. But I reckon I might have had a bite, you know, not sure. Right, let's get this one out. Second one. First one, I got it back, which is always a result, but let's see if we can't get a bite this time. And I've shortened this one down, so hopefully it'll fish a bit better. That's better. Not a tangle in sight there with that shorter pulley, so that's working out a treat. So I'm glad I changed that up. So I'm gonna chuck another one of those out. And I've got a pout head to go out on a running ledger in a minute as well on the bigger rod. Let's try and get a fish. Sun's starting to go, the stunning sunset around the corner. Right, it's time. I feel like now I'm going to fish pretty hard. Oh mate, got sun in my eyes, it's stunning. You know what, let's give this a bit more of a drop. Let's give this some welly. So far I've got everything back, which I'm pretty pleased about. I've had a couple of casts now on both rods, and I feel like I've had a bite actually on both, but obviously I haven't turned it into a fish, so. There we go. I am slightly concerned. Wow, that sun. Slightly concerned that with a 5-ounce lead right out in those rocks, if indeed there are rocks, with it rolling around, I'm going to lose it, but oh, you've got to give it a go, haven't you? I mean, I've come out tonight with the intention of trying to get a bass, so I guess if it's in the rocks, potentially it's in the right place. Well, you can tell it's starting to warm up. There's plenty of mozzies about. But there we go, that's my next bait that's going to go out. It's a nice big bait. Hook's nice and proud there. That's another piece of pouting with half a squid wrapped up the side of it. But yeah, I want to fish this next sort of 2 hours really, as hard as I can really, because I feel like, you know, the sun is about to go. You know, it feels like that witching hour that everyone talks about. I think something's going to come out to play pretty soon. At least I hope so. That'd be nice anyway, wouldn't it? Nice to see a little bit of rod action. I mean, I know I can talk, and I do apologise about the length of the last video. Apparently I had a lot to say. So I'm struggling for a bite at the moment, to be honest. I've got a few rigs baited up and ready to go. So this does feel like the time. So there we go. So there's my 4.0, and that's got a whole, actually it's only a half a peeler. It was one that was already peeled. And then what I've done is I've piggybacked that with another peeler, and I left some of the legs going just to make it look a little bit more natural. See if that will make the difference. I'm going to stick this one in much closer. But I'm going to change it now because those crab baits are not lasting at all. Every time I brought it in, we got some weight here. What's this? I think it's a bit of weed. Every time I brought it in, it's what have I got there? Yeah, every time I brought it in, it's there's been no bait left. What have we got there? What, a fish? There we go. We're not blanking. I mean, christened the new rod. Got a Rocklin. Oh, there we go, buddy. Wow. Little shore Rocklin. Absolutely tiny, but it's a fish anyway. There we go. So, a tiny, tiny, tiny little one. And that was on Tom's bass rig. So thanks, mate. You got me a Rocklin. Awesome. Let's get it back in. Let's get a fresh one out there. Now, I know some people will probably say, should have stuck it back out as a live bait, but I'm not going to use a Rocklin as bait. I've got some bait. It's not fresh bait, but I'll have a go at getting a fresh bait later on, see if I can't pick up a pout. But yeah, let's get this changed up. So far, what I'm thinking here is I've probably gone a bit light in my leads. I've got one 4-ounce and I've got one 5-ounce plain lead, and the rest of them are 6-ounce grippers, and I've got a bunch of 3-ounce ball weights as well. And I think they're all a bit light. The 5-ounce is fine, 4-ounce is a bit light. But I think the next time I put that 4-ounce, I'm going to give it a bit more of a heave-ho. Because I think I need to get a little bit further and get into hold, because this swell that's coming in is obviously moving it around, which is what I want it to do, but I think it's moving it around a little bit too much. But that's only what I think. I could be completely wrong. But like I say, that tide will turn at some point, and maybe that will turn the fish on. A lot of people always tell me that for bass fishing, it fishes better on the ebb. Right, I'm hoping, now I've just hit that on much further. It's ain't much further, it's probably still only 40 yards maybe. But because it's a bit further out, and I've got the rods much more elevated, just can keep it out of that weed a bit. It's only tiny little bits of weed. I'm not getting it on the other rod at all. I'm only getting it on my bass rod because it's washing in close. So I think that should sort me out. It's only the 4 ounce, so next one I'll put the 5 ounce on. Yeah, and keep persisting. I might chuck a 2-hook flapper out in a minute on the other rod and see if I can't pick up a fresh pout and maybe use a fresh pout for bait instead. But I'll keep going, I've still got plenty of crab, so. Yeah, let's see if this little change up that I've done makes a difference. Right, there we go. Rod tip lights are on, you can just about make them out. I will be able to drop them a bit in a minute. But for the moment, I just want to keep them up a little bit higher, just because I'm struggling, really. But we'll see how we get on. And like I say, I may well be able to drop them. It's the only thing with this, I mean, this is the cheapest warm suit that you can buy. So the straps aren't that great, and being a little bit short, when they loosen off, it's a little bit too big. Yeah, I mean, I've got these, I've got the lines like right on the verge of just catching a bit of weight to get the rod tip over so I can see a slack line basically if I get one. At the moment, like I say, I'm not getting any bites. But it could be just the wrong venue for crab. Maybe I should have come down with squid and mackerel. But, you know, you live and learn. So what I've done is I've upped the size of the hook on the earth rig to a 4.0 now, just so basically so I can fish a bigger crab bait. Because the ones I bought only had a 2.0 on. You had the options of a 2.0 or a 6.0. So I opted for the 2, knowing that I could upsize the hooks. So at the minute, all of my bass rigs have got a 4.0 on. But yeah, I'm not even getting a bite, so I can't even say that, you know, I'm not getting a hook up because the hook's too small or too big or anything, because I'm not actually getting a bite as such yet, so. Got to keep going. Try and get a fresh pout. And keep putting the crab bait out in the meantime, that's all I can do at the moment. There we go, right. Got a lovely, lovely looking bait right here. So that's a whole crab. I've left the legs on one side and I've bound that up with a bit of squid body and a squid head. Nice big bait, nice 4.0 sticking out the top. And we'll chuck that out next. And hopefully that will get something going, a bit more scent, a bit of a bigger bait. Hopefully it will stir something to happen. Because yeah, it's not at the moment. Yeah, I really thought I might have got a conger as well. I mean, it is rocky down here and everyone says it's pretty snaggy. So I thought, you know, conger territory, you know, I should have got something, but I've gone out with a nice big pout and squid bait on the other side again. But yeah, it's just not happening tonight. Not yet, anyway. Well, I came out with 2 pout in tonight. To be honest, I thought the pouting might have picked me up a conger, and I could have used the pouting head for a bass and the crab. And as yet, nothing. Well, apart from 2 rockling. So what I've done is, it's a really big pout head. So I've trimmed it down, as you can see there. I've taken the back of the head off, exposing all the blood and stuff. I've trimmed a lot of around the guts, so all the guts are just hanging out. It's quite a big bait, as you can see, with a 4.0 sticking out of its top lip. So I'll chop that out next. In close on the earth rig. And see if we can't get that elusive bass. But yeah, it's not happening tonight at the moment. Oh, there we go. That looks very much like a pouty bite. Keep an eye on that. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Let's go and have a look. Sorry, I'm just drying my hands because the towel's hanging off the camera, so. Definitely getting bites on it anyway, so. Just whether or not we've actually got one. I think I've got something. There we go. But another rockling, just a tiny one again, little 3-bearded shore rockling. Right, let's get this back. We know that little 2-hook flapper's working though, so water's going out quick now. God, I mean that rod tip has not moved for ages. And then suddenly it springs back. It must have just been a bit of swell. I don't know, man. I've reeled into it a couple of times just to tighten it up again. I think it's just a swell. Oh, shame. I thought I might have actually been in then. Oh, we are on that one though. Oh, get out of that snag. Oh, I got something. It's only on the little 2-hook flapper this, so. Oh no, it's gone light. No. What have we got here? God, can't believe it. So, after all that, and Mark, well, I met down the beach earlier, buddy. He's a subscriber to the channel. He said, well, at least you don't get dogfish down here. But it's a fish, so when it's really slow like it has been tonight, I will take it. Let's get this back in. Let's get another bait out there. Oh yeah, I chucked that 2-hook flapper out again just to see if I could pick up a fresh pout again, but wasn't to be. Right, let's get another rig out. Keep going, man, keep going. Oh, we're caught up. Oop, there we go. Well, it's another fish, it's another species, but I wish that other species began with B and ended with an S. Right. Let's get another rig baited up and try and get that elusive bass. Right, I think it's time to put that pout head out there. Yeah, I'm going to put that pout head out now. This one's been out there long enough. Hey, it's such a nice light rod. Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving this a good go. It's always exciting using a new rod, isn't it? All right, let's have a look at this when it comes up. I feel like it's been had. Oh, 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 hello. Oh, hello, 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 hello. That was a nice bite. Ah, it. First snag. Let's leave that. First snag. And a nice bite as well. Oh, gutted. Right, let's get this nasty looking pout head out there. Let's have a look, see if we can't get this out. Oh, gutted, man. No. Oh, oh, we got it out. We definitely haven't got a fish. Damn it. I mean, it's the one beauty about with the filming is obviously I can go back and look at the edit because it looked like a relatively decent bite, but the bait is completely untouched. And whatever it was took me into a snag because I had a few reels on it and then it was just snagged in. But thankfully I've got it back, but now I just need to rebait it and get it back out there. But yeah, gutted. Oh, well, there is my last double crab. 2 crab on a 4-0. You can see there, nice big bait. Kind of done away with the smaller baits now. Just use it up. Notch this one up to experience. Probably should have bought some mackerel, I think. Mackerel and squid, but gone with a mackerel head and guts. And save this for a different type of venue. I think being out on this open beach, I don't think the crab was ever gonna work. I think I might have made a boo-boo there, but we'll see. We've got one left. There we go, so I got it on my running ledger. Let's get it out there. Because that temperature is dropping and I am hungry. So that's it, the last baits are out. It's 11 o'clock, so I'll give them half hour. In the meantime, I'll have a little tidy up. Put my coat on because it's cold. You can actually see my breath. We'll just keep our fingers crossed that we can get one. Yeah, that's it. I'm calling it. Yeah, not the session that I'd hoped. I've got to be honest, I came out and I had really high hopes. I really thought I was going to be able to get into a bass tonight. I got to the top of the cliff there. I looked down and I was like, man, it looks super fishy. I feel like I've made the right choice in coming here. And I think if anything, what I've learned from this session, I always try and take something from every session. I mean, it wasn't a blank. I had a couple of rockling and a dogfish, but I think I brought the wrong bait. I think I should have brought mackerel. I feel like I should have. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but I don't know. It feels like there should have been bass here tonight. And I'm starting to think that maybe, you know, because I don't do a lot of bass fishing, thinking that maybe like peeler crab will work for certain venues, you know, like a harbour mouth, you know, like with Christchurch Anglia when he caught those bass at Bembridge. And that will probably work for fish baits as well. You know, but a lot of people say certain places like freshwater, Black Gang, you know, those sort of places, you just take fish baits. And I'm fishing the back of the island today, and I feel like I might have had a better chance. I wouldn't have necessarily caught something, but just a better chance if I'd have brought some fish baits. So, moving forward, I absolutely love the Zulcron bass. I think it's a really pretty rod. It's not all totally garish. It's really, really light. It's a really slim blank. And I like the fact that it's 13 foot actually, because it means I can use it as like a utility rod. I can use it for bream fishing. I can use it for other stuff. And it will cast a 5-ounce lead. So I really like that. I haven't given it a proper test. I did get a fish on it, albeit it was about a 5-ounce rockling, if I'm lucky. But yeah, I'm going to take that out with me for the next few outings. I'll take both those 2 rods with me and just give it a little bit of a bash, give it a bit of a test and see what it can do. But yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't show you any better fish today. And yeah, hopefully next time we'll do a little bit better. So until then, please take care, stay safe, and maybe I'll see you out there. Cheers.